Bill Cosby will stand trial for sexual assault charges. Pennsylvania judge ruled Thursday there is enough evidence for Bill Cosby to stand trial for sexual assault charges. These charges stem from a 2004 encounter between Cosby and Andrea Constand. She told authorities that Cosby sexually assaulted her after giving her drugs. Cosby said the encounter was consensual. I'm inclined not to believe that, but it might be. I mean, chicks will do anything if a guy's got money. Oh, shit, that was misogynist, wasn't it?
Yeah, but you work in the industry and you've seen it firsthand.
I have. Like, I've seen chicks do some...
Although now you don't even have to have the money. If you walk in there with just a little bit of heroin, you can have 50% of them eaten out of your dick.
This is true on some nights. Is arrested on those sexual assault charges in December 2015, was released on $1 million bail. Constand is one of dozens of women to make similar allegations against Cosby.
Okay. What is the statute of limitations?
Because I always thought it was like 7 years or something.
Well, that's 11 years.
I think it's more for sexual shit.
No, that's between 10 and 11 years. Yeah. Okay? There is no longer any evidence other than he said, she said.
Yeah, it's whoever can present
because there's no drugs in her system. Yeah. There's no semen in her body.
Yep.
So, like... This is why people have a hard time believing it. It's not because there's a rape culture. It's not because we don't believe that rape happens, and it's not because we condone rape. It's because we honestly want to know why it took this woman 11 years to say anything. I don't care who it was. Like, it could have been goddamn Obama or Putin or any other powerful person. It could have been fucking Leonardo DiCaprio. It doesn't matter who it was or what their position was. If they raped you, come out and say that they raped you immediately after the fact. Don't sit there and hide about it.
But Cody, they're too scared to because these people have power. And even in cases when people don't have power, they're too scared to because people will label them as a slut or they'll label them whatever, you know, and they don't, it's too embarrassing to come out. Like, look, if it's too embarrassing at the time to come out with it and then you fucking come out with it 10, 11, whatever, how many years later, like, you can't get upset when people don't believe you. Like, look, it might be embarrassing for you for some reason. I mean, honestly, if it was me, and I know I'm a man, so I couldn't possibly understand, even though I have been sexually assaulted in my life, you know? It's like, you gotta fucking come out at the time, because you gotta realize that it's not, there's no justice is gonna be served by waiting.
No.
You know, it may be embarrassing, it may be scary, but... do you really want other people to go through that? Like, are you cool with that?
Like, it's selfish holding it to yourself.
Yeah. You know, and at this point, like, a lot of people use that thing, well, 70 or however many women it was have come forward, so there must be, at least one of them must be true. And I'm like, well, you know, I mean, yeah, maybe. But, I mean, I think he did it, at least to a couple of them.
Wait, how many people came forward to get the silver slipper in Cinderella? You know?
Well, yeah, that's what I'm getting to.
Yeah.
Like, if people see that there could possibly be money involved, then yeah, they're going to come out of the woodwork. You know, it's again, like you said, it's kind of a wishy-washy thing because there's no way you can prove it at this point, at this stage. You know, so it's like 10 years or however many years later, there's no real evidence left unless somebody got it on video. You know, other than that, it's just whoever makes the best case for their argument. You know, there's no hard evidence.
Well, but so Cosby's already lost.
Yeah.
He's already lost. The public opinion's so completely against Bill Cosby.
Like, that's the thing. That's another thing, like, about this whole fucking just believe the victims, quote, victims mentality that feminism throws around these days. Like, you know, it doesn't matter if they're lying or not. Just believe them. You know, suddenly these people, these regressives want us to have a guilty until proven innocent type of system.
If we did that, everyone would just be in jail.
Yeah, well, I mean, but the problem with that is, like, and they don't seem to care, is that, like, say the person didn't do it, which has happened a lot here recently.
University of Virginia, Duke.
Their fucking reputation is ruined for life.
Yeah.
And even like, look, let's take Michael Jackson, for instance. You know, the guy was cleared of all fucking charges, you know. As weird as he might have been, you know, he still was found not guilty. And if you look into the shit even deeper, it seems some people were out to get some money from him. But he was still, like, even to this day, people call him a child molester.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and the
'Cause
same
it
thing.
sticks.
Yeah, well, and then the same thing with these rapists. It doesn't matter if their name gets cleared or not. Public opinion is still going to say, so you can't just fucking go on and just start calling people rapists and child molesters and all this shit.
If you think that this doesn't hurt other people too, like,
Yeah.
seriously, go back and look at the Duke case. That Duke team was the runner-up national champion for lacrosse, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Before the season started, some girl makes a rape claim against them. A prostitute makes a rape claim against them. It takes, like, the better part of a year for everything to get settled. The coach resigns under pressure from the university. The university cancels the entire lacrosse season for these dudes. They don't get to play the reason that they're at school, you know? They have their lives ruined. They have to lawyer up and spend hundreds of thousands of dollars and waste waste court's time on this because a woman lied. But the thing is that all of them were looked at as guilty.
Yep.
Every single person on that team was looked at as guilty for the better part of a year and a half until they came out and said, no, she was lying.
Well, and, you know, there's still, like, women and people out there. I heard it recently in regards to the UVA case, the Rolling Stone article and shit, where they're still like, well, the guy's still guilty, and even if he's not guilty. Like, what?
Okay.
What is your logic there? Like, even if he's not a rapist, he's still a shitty man, you know? Like, I mean, come on, like, there was no evidence at all. Even her own friends said she made it up.
Mm-hmm.
Like, come on, dude.
Well, but see, that's a problem in this instant gratification society.
Yeah.
People are looking for the story, not the facts.
Yeah.
If they have something that they know people will get riled up about, they don't care if it's true or not. They're going to post it. When
much.
CNN uses Tumblr as a source, there's a fucking problem with journalism.
Yeah, a big problem. Oh, man, I had some fun on Tumblr this past week.
I won't get on it.
I love it. It's hilarious.
Bearings on it now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I started my Tumblr. Shit. I started my Tumblr, like, I don't know, 2 or 3 years ago, and I just barely used it. Every once in a while, I go on and post something ridiculous just because I know it'll get a bunch of people riled up. Like, recently, it's been the Ghostbusters shit. I've been posting a lot of Ghostbusters-related shit on there lately, and it's just tearing people up inside.
How can you feel that way about women?
Yeah. And you don't even need to say anything about women in that case. You need to just say the movie looks like it sucks, and they're all over you. But let's see. This is the first time Cosby would stand trial for sexual assault. I cannot talk tonight. Sexual assault charges. If convicted, the 78-year-old faces up to 10 years in prison. He'll die in prison.
Yep.
If he goes to prison, he'll be dead in a couple years, I guarantee it. So, dude, just let the guy live out the rest. He's already been villainized.
He can't do comedy anymore.
He can't do comedy. He can't earn a living anymore. He's, you know, take a couple million away from him and fucking send him on his way.
Why is it though that women
waited too long.
They're demonizing his wife. They're saying that his wife is a rape apologist.
Well, what's she supposed to do?
She's standing next to a monster, and yet no one says a fucking word about Hillary Clinton doing the exact same thing on someone that we know has sexually assaulted women.
Well, let's think about it. What's Camille Cosby supposed to do? Camille, you know, what's she supposed to do? What is she supposed to do? Again, she's just as old. Well,
she'd take all of his fucking money and she'd win.
Yeah,
she'd be done with
this
it.
is true, but she's just as old as him. You know, she probably just wants to fucking live out the rest of her life in peace. You know, like, from what I've heard, they had an open relationship anyways because she understood that a comedian that's on the road a lot is going to get pussy thrown at him. And, you know, temptation's hard sometimes.
What did Daniel Tosh say? You got to plow a 6 to appreciate an 8.
Yeah. But, you know, like, I mean, they're both old. They've only got, between the two of them, like, I'd say each, well, I think she might be a little bit younger than him, maybe. Or she might be, I don't know. I don't really know. But the bottom line is, he's 78 years old. He's going to live maybe 10 more years, if he's lucky. I would say closer to 5, especially with all the stress that's been put on him right now.
Yeah, most old men die when they get stressed.
Yeah. And don't get me wrong, maybe he did this shit. I mean, again, I think he probably did at least a couple of them because, look, back in the 60s and 70s when he was coming up, it was kind of a popular thing to do. Not saying it was the right thing to do, but, you know, like, women back then, a lot of them liked Quaaludes. they would ask for Quaaludes, and he's talked about this before. He's like, yeah, we all did them. Men were doing them too. It's kind of like I would hazard to step in this territory because I know it'll get me a lot of hate, but fuck do I care?
That's more of a
It's equivalent today, I would say, in two people getting blackout drunk and having sex, and the next day the woman saying the guy raped her. What? We were both drunk. We were both fucked up.
Yeah, regret is not rape.
Yeah. Well, and it's one of these things too now where like for some reason you could be held responsible not be held responsible for a chick. If you're a girl and you get drunk and you have sex with a guy, you're not responsible for your own actions. But if you get drunk and you drive a car and wreck, you are responsible for your actions.
Mm-hmm.
How does that make fucking sense?
It doesn't. It also, like, if both parties are drunk, then technically consent can't be given, and both people can file rape charges, and then it's like two fouls in football. They offset.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
So,
Shouldn't that be how that works?
But this is the world we live in now, and I just wanted to cover it because it was this news story came out today, and the fact, like I said, there's no way you can prove any of this unless there's video or audio, pictures, something. But there's not. And again, you waited too long, ladies. If this is true, you waited too long.
They will say this is the problem, that we're sitting here saying that there's no way to believe it. Yeah, because it's 10 years after the fact.
Yeah.
The next day would have been the opportune time to go, hey, Bill Cosby raped me last night.
Yeah.
Not 10 years later, you're just sitting around going, I feel like stirring some shit today. Might as well tell this story.
And, it may not even be that for, like I said, it could have been a couple of them. It could have been true. Again, why did they wait so long? I don't know. But then you have all these other ones that are like, hey, I had sex with Cosby once. Or even if they didn't, or if they just, hung out with him one night, they'll be like, hey, I did hang out with him that one night. Maybe people will be like, hey, she hung out with him that one night. She must be telling the truth.
Well, I can't go home tonight and my house be ransacked and shit be missing. And then just 5 months down the road, call the cops and be like, hey, by the way,
I was robbed.
I was robbed 5 months ago.
I'm like, okay.
Slipped my mind for 5 months, but I just remembered my TV's gone.
I was too embarrassed to report it because I didn't want people knowing how vulnerable I was.
Because I had left my door unlocked.
Yeah. So, yeah, this is, it's, dude, look, I don't really support Cosby. I think he was a brilliant comic in his day. I don't.
Put him pop.
Yeah. I don't think that he raped 70 or however many fucking women it is. I think maybe a few of them had some regrettable consensual sex. There were some drugs involved. I think maybe he did it a couple times thinking it was okay to do because back in that day, you had like Spanish Fly and Quaaludes and shit like this that people just kind of did. Not saying it was right, but they did it. And so I don't know. Like, I don't buy the whole, I was too embarrassed. I was too worried about his power to come out with it back then. Because, dude, you could have knocked him off his throne. Like, look.
Yeah, now it's like taking pot shots at the old man.
I'll even give you this. I can understand back in the 70s and 80s not wanting to come forward because there was a bias back then. There was. There was a bias in the court system against shit like this. So I can understand that. However, 2005 or whatever it was, 2004.
Yeah.
No, things were pretty well even by then. You could have came out with it. You would have fucking killed his career back in 2004 if it was true. So
no more pudding pops.
Yeah, no more pudding pops. No more Cosby Show because I think he did have a show back then. No more traveling comedy tour. I think that was around the time too where he was going around telling black kids to pull their pants up. He was on that crusade. So, like you could have dethroned him back in 2004. Why didn't you take the chance? Just something doesn't add up there. Again, I think he probably did it back in the day. But
maybe she enjoyed it for about 10 years and then was like, you know what? I didn't enjoy it.
Well, I think that, all right, I think that this really happened. I think that they had sex. I think that maybe they were both doing drugs. Maybe it was just her. Maybe there were no drugs. But, at a certain point, she sees all these other women coming forward from way back in the day, back in the 70s and the 60s when Quaaludes were the thing. And she's like, holy shit, mine's more recent. Maybe I could actually get something out of this. And there you go. But, I'm sexist for saying that.
You might be.
Anyways, Cosby, I was a fan of your shit back in the day, but it's time to just fucking go into reclusiveness and live out the rest of your life with Camille. Eat some pudding pops and call it a day.